Critical thinking and problem solving. When you are faced with a problem, how do you go about solving it? Sometimes the solution seems obvious. Other times, it can be a little harder to figure out what to do to resolve the issue. I am going to share a process and talk with you about a few things you can do to make yourself more effective when you are faced with a problem. Critical thinking is a skill you can use to evaluate a situation, identify the root cause of a problem, and consider various potential solutions to that problem through logical, disciplined thinking to evaluate the options and select the best one for your purposes. The first step to thinking critically about a problem is to stop yourself from jumping to a solution too quickly. It is easy to look at a problem and jump right to what we think the answer is, but if we do not go through the right steps to make sure we are actually resolving the real cause of the problem, we may find ourselves right back where we started. For example, let's say it's the end of the day and you are headed home from school. You go out to your car and find it won't start. You think to yourself, I bet the battery is dead, and ask a friend to jumpstart your car. You get home fine, but the next morning the car won't start because the battery died again. You've solved the first problem, but not its root cause. Let's look at the problem-solving process and see how we can apply our critical thinking skills to solving this problem. A critical approach to solving problems breaks the process down into steps. The first step is to define the problem. In this case, you can say, my car won't start and I need to be home in time for dinner. At this step, it is crucial that you not jump right to a solution. Do that now and you may find yourself right back in the same situation tomorrow. The next step is to analyze the problem. Look for the root cause, the underlying reason that the situation has happened. There are many tools and ways to do this. I'm going to introduce you to one today, the 5 whys. This approach was first introduced by Toyota Manufacturing almost 100 years ago. You ask, why has this happened? Then look at the answer to that question and ask again, why has this happened? It is called the 5 whys because generally, by the time you've drilled down 5 levels, you've figured out the root cause. Let's apply it to our car problem. Why won't my car start? The battery is dead. Why is the battery dead? The alternator is not working. Why isn't the alternator working? The alternator belt is broken. Why did the alternator belt break? It was past its recommended service life. Why did the belt exceed its recommended service life? I haven't been doing the routine maintenance on my car. Now I know the problem and I have figured out why it happened. The next step is to identify possible solutions. This is another step where we might short-circuit the process and jump to conclusions, so be careful here. Brainstorm. Come up with as many possible ideas as you can. Don't worry that they are impractical or weird. We'll figure that out in the next step. Let's apply that process to our battery problem. I brainstormed some ideas with a friend for possible solutions, and here's what we came up with. Buy a new car. Replace the battery. Jumpstart the car. Abandon the car and hitchhike. Tow the car with a team of horses. Thank you, Mount Sac Equestrian Program. Replace the alternator belt. Strap a jet engine to it. Cut a hole in the floor and walk it home Flintstone style. We have some crazy ideas here, but we also have some good ones. Let's evaluate them. Consider each solution and ask, does this fix the root cause of my problem? What are the pros and cons of this solution? Let's consider a few of these. Buy a new car. It's tempting and it fixes the immediate issue of my car not running, but it's expensive. Replace the battery. Works in the short term, but doesn't address the alternator issue. Jumpstart the car. Same thing. Walk away. We've all felt the urge to deal with frustration by just walking away, but then we won't have a car and the school is probably going to start issuing parking tickets if we leave it there too long. We can consider each of the solutions in turn. Now we can go on to the 4th step. Select and implement a solution. We'll look at the pros and cons of the various possible solutions and pick one that gives us the best result. Buying a new car is out. It fixes the problem, but it isn't in our budget right now. Ultimately, we'll probably settle on 2 of them. Jumpstart the car to fix the immediate problem and get home in time for dinner, and replace the belt and schedule routine maintenance for the car from now on. We'll get the car towed to a mechanic and have them do the necessary work. We're almost done, but we still have one more step to our problem-solving process left. We need to monitor and evaluate the solution. In this case, it's pretty straightforward. But what if we had just bought a new battery? Within a few days, we would be right back where we started. So, once you have fixed the problem, keep watching. Did you solve the root cause? If it comes back, or if something else breaks, we can go through the process again. The problem-solving process is cyclical. We focus on continuous improvement. We've used a simple example here today, but the same process can be applied to more complicated problems. The key is to remember to think critically. Be disciplined in your thinking and don't jump to conclusions. Be analytical in evaluating your solutions, and follow up to make sure you are getting the results you want.